2023 was a whirlwind of a year. So much was done. I did get married, I went on my honeymoon, I bought a house, and we are expecting a baby. So, it's been super busy, can't complain, got to do a lot of stuff, and some of it is captured here in my sketchbook. Welcome to my sketchbook tour. My name is Adrienne Price, and I like to make art. Here is my sketchbook. This is a Strathmore soft cover sketchbook, multimedia. So let's get started. Here we have just some birds. I saw a picture on Instagram and I really liked it, so I tried to recreate that. Here we have some cardinals and a cockatoo, just a doodle here, and then some designs. This means holiday in a glass. Went to the Rawlings Conservatory in Baltimore, which is a botanical garden, and they had a lot of really cool stuff there, including like lemons and gnomes and mushrooms. This was back in March of this year. Also got to see the cherry blossoms. And I went to the Ministry of Brewing, which is a Baltimore brewery inside of a church. Just some designs. I found this book that had like different words in different languages that mean like, comfortable things. So I just wrote this one down. This is just a doodle. And here was just more of just like watercolor playing around. I went to this really nice champagne bar in Raleigh in April. It's called RBF, and that stands for Resting Bitch Face. So you go in there and you're not encouraged to smile at all. You can just be whatever you want to be. We also went to another winery. And this was my parents' chimenea. I went there in April as well. And it was really great weather. So we had a fire outside. And if you can see, like, there's the lake behind. And hummingbird feeder. And big flames coming out of that chimenea. Then in late April, I went to Berlin, but not Berlin, Germany, Berlin, Maryland, and did a really awesome bachelorette event day with my friend Jen. She planned everything out, so we went to all these different places, including Boxcar in Maine, On What Grounds. I was doing these inside of the places, so I was trying to just draw every drink that I had. This was just an old building in Berlin, and then we went to Tim's Tiki Bar, and I had not one, not two, but 3 loaded land sharks, and if you haven't had one of those, they're really good. I'll try to find the recipe and put that in the description. Then we had our last beer, a Miller Lite. You could see I was running out of steam at that point, and this just has some other doodles in it. So I got married in May, and for our honeymoon, we went on a cruise. So we went to Bermuda and the Bahamas. We were riding on the Vision of the Seas, which is a cruise boat that leaves out of Baltimore. Here we just have some doodles. This is whatever this is pronounced as. I got into this kind of pattern making, and I thought I would try to play with some pen and ink. So I was just trying out some new things here. When I was in Bermuda, we went past this church, this Methodist church, in May, and we were driving on the way to Horseshoe Bay Beach, and I just really liked the colors. It was very colorful there in Bermuda. And this kind of was difficult to do for me because I'm not very good with perspective and doing buildings, but I'm trying to work on that for urban sketching, just because I like going to places and, remembering the days that I went to those places. Here we have more of the pen and ink sketching that I was doing. One of the prompts that this lady had, it was a class on Skillshare. She said to draw a girl sniffing a flower, so that's what I did. And then I thought maybe it would be cool to do a like cherub type drawing. So that's what I did here. And I implemented some of the darker lines that she had recommended and lighter lines. And I wasn't trying to like make it too complicated, but I guess I kind of did. Just a quick doodle. This was kind of implementing the same thing, except I went down to a little lake that we had near my apartment. I was like, oh, well, this would be nice if I could do like a sun, do something with that. And then these are some cacti with some clouds and some flowers and succulents. This used to look different. You see on the back here I drew, so I didn't realize it would come through, and it did. But this looked really cool before it was totally mangled by the ink on the other side of it. And I drew this, just a doodle. Trying to work my own style into some of this stuff. This was a very large undertaking. This was my bookshop picture. This was inspired by a Skillshare class that I was taking on perspective. And the prompt was draw something that you're familiar with. And I wanted to do something that was more imaginative, so I chose a bookshop. What would my bookshop look like if it could be anything? So I have skulls in different places. I have a Buddha. I have cacti. I have a little bust of Elvis, although you can't really tell. I have cats and mice in different places, chairs and lots of foliage. And this bathtub was actually inspired by the bathtub that we saw in Venice on our trip to Italy and Germany last year. There was a bathtub in a bookshop because of all the water that rises in Venice. So I decided that would be a cool thing to add in there. But yeah, I'm selling this as a print, so if you are interested in this one, it's a 5x7 print. Let me know. Oh, I didn't do anything on this page. Oops. This was done at an event that I was just sitting at, and I was like, well, let me try to incorporate some of these different flower shapes and more decorative patterns that I've seen. And unfortunately, I chose a very bad color to do this with, so it does not look great. So here we have the beginning of Avian August. I'm actually going to skip over this part because this is captured in my Avian August sketchbook video. But I'll just flip through here so you can look at them just quickly. But if you want actual explanations of these birds, I highly recommend that as the way to go. This was meant to be a sticker that I never actually made into a sticker. Maybe one day I'll do it. Who knows? And then one day I was having a bad day and I decided I would go and sit by the little lake that was by our house. And I saw a bunch of turtles, so I tried to play with the idea of turtles, you know, turtles as a taxi, turtles hiding under leaves, striped turtles, turtles without a shell, actually just a snake, a homeless turtle, you know, with no shell. Those are just some drawings. So this was another mess up. Obviously you can see that I had ink on the other side of the building, but this was when I went to Ellicott City for some urban sketching. So check out that video, which you'll find at the top of the screen here. Basically this was a institute for women so that they could go learn things back in the 1800s. It got shut down and it's been used as a bunch of other things since then. I almost got locked into this area because it was open on a day that it wasn't really open, like the gates were, so I went in and started drawing and almost got stuck there. This is just a rendering of one of the masks that my mom has on her wall at her house. Here I tried to do some doodles and forgot that this ink was not waterproof, so I was really sad about that because I really liked that picture. This was based on a kite that I saw in DC during the Kite Festival. Here I have a couple other drawings that I did when I was at the lake, and this is supposed to be one of those like dirt mover things. This was my golden hour at Rosemont, and I bought one of their stickers to put on here, right there. Basically, I was trying to play with perspective. I watched a lot of videos on how to play with perspective when you're doing urban sketching to try to make it a little bit more interesting. And so I just exaggerated some things And I think it turned out pretty cool as long as you don't think about it too hard. Yeah, so have this as my last page. Really like ducks, as you can tell. So thank you so much for watching. Please check out my other videos. I also have a newsletter that comes out very infrequently if you are interested. And yeah, that concludes the sketchbook tour.